If you like this type of videos, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more videos like this. And self-knowledge. We can discover new ways of living intimacy, regardless of age or transformations we experience in our bodies. This vision, released from prejudices and comparisons, allows us to enjoy sexual and affective life authentically, without external pressures or erroneous expectations, taking care of our physical and emotional health, reinforcing both the body and the mind, is the true path to a full and satisfactory life. By releasing our minds from the expectations imposed by society, we begin to discover that true pleasure does not depend on a perfect body or fulfilling superficial beauty criteria, but on the genuine connection with ourselves and with others. Sexuality, like any other aspect of life, must be understood as a dynamic process that evolves with us. Instead of looking for an unattainable ideal, we can focus on exploring the different facets of our being and how they are reflected in our intimate relationships. Learning to listen to the needs of our body, both physical and emotional, is a powerful tool to achieve a more satisfactory and healthy sex life. This requires time and patience, but above all, it implies a commitment to ourselves with respect for our own rhythm and well-being. Aging, which is often perceived negatively due to cultural myths, is actually a phase rich in opportunities to redefine intimacy. Maturity gives us the possibility of exploring new forms of enjoyment, deeper and more conscious, away from the pressures of youth. It is important to recognize that each stage of life has its own values and wealth. The experience acquired over the years allows us to better understand what we want and need, which can lead to greater satisfaction in our relationships. In this sense, sexual and emotional pleasure becomes a natural extension of our personal growth and our ability to connect authentically. Accepting and hugging our body as it is, regardless of the standards of others, leads us to a personal freedom that is reflected in all aspects of our life, including intimacy. Through self-acceptance and self-love, we allow ourselves to enjoy life in a fuller way, without fear of judgment or criticism. It is not about achieving a specific type of beauty or desire, but about finding peace with our inner being and accepting our natural evolution. This freedom allows us to live our sexuality authentically without feeling pressured by what others expect from us. Ultimately, living fully and significantly depends on our ability to accept, evolve, and celebrate at each stage of life, always with the willingness to continue learning, exploring, and growing. By learning to live in tune with our body and our emotions, we discover a deep connection between our mental, physical, and sexual health. When we allow ourselves to release external expectations and comparisons with others, we can really focus our energy on what makes us feel good and what we need to prosper. Each experience, each interaction, is an opportunity to grow, either learning to communicate more openly with our partner, or learning to listen to the signs that our body sends us. This process of self-knowledge and self-definition is vital to cultivate a healthy sexual and emotional life, since it frees us from insecurities and false beliefs that we have often absorbed from young people. By advancing in life, we understand that emotional connection is as or more important than physics. Relations based on genuine intimacy, empathy, and mutual respect are those that really nourish our sexual experience and our quality of life. The superficial expectations that society tells us about youth, the perfect body, or the correct ways of loving dissipate when we focus on what really matters: authenticity, trust, and genuine desire to share our lives with another person. It is not about achieving unattainable perfection, but about enjoying the process of being and being present at the time, hugging every aspect of our individuality. The process of accepting our bodies, especially in advanced ages, is liberating. The transformations we experience over time should not be seen as a loss, but as a rich opportunity to discover new forms of pleasures, enjoy our privacy, and be more connected to ourselves and others. Each change, each mark of the passage of time, is a footprint of our personal history, and by recognizing it as such, we become more powerful and safe of our own worth. Instead of trying to deny or hide these changes, we can learn to celebrate them, seeing them as an essential part of our trip. It is vital to understand that sexuality is not limited to youth or a specific beauty model. Actually, maturity brings with it a deeper understanding of the desires and needs of our body and our mind. And this knowledge allows us to live in a faster and without fears. The most mature couples, for example, can enjoy intimacy based on greater communication and complicity, allowing them to experience new levels of emotional and physical connection. The idea that sexual vitality decreases with age is a myth that must be challenged. In fact, many people discover that experience and openness to novelty allow them to explore their sexuality in ways that they never imagined before. Self-love then becomes the basis of a full and satisfactory sex life. No matter the age or physical state of the body, what really matters is how we interact with ourselves and how we allow ourselves to enjoy the present without loads of the past or fears about the future. When we manage to accept and love ourselves as we are, regardless of the stereotypes that society can impose, we open the door to new ways of living sexuality, intimacy, and life in general. Ultimately, the key to true pleasure and satisfaction is in the ability to be at peace with oneself and embrace the experience of living fully. As we advance in life, we also learn to appreciate the importance of connection not only with our partner, but with ourselves. The relationship we have with our body and our mind is directly reflected in our interactions and intimate experiences. Self-esteem, that feeling of respect and love for oneself, becomes the cornerstone of our ability to enjoy sexual and emotional life. When we feel comfortable with ourselves, we are more willing to be vulnerable, to communicate our needs, and to explore new aspects of our sexuality with confidence. One of the most valuable lessons that we learn with age is that sex life is not determined by youth or physical appearance. The true connection is found in the deep and genuine emotional connection that we share with those around us, the relationships we cultivate over the years, based on respect, understanding, and emotional intimacy, allow us by stripping these conditioning. We can enjoy a more authentic sex life, in which emotional well-being and mutual satisfaction are the fundamental pillars. It is important to remember that sexuality is an integral aspect of our identity, not something that is separated from our general well-being. Just as we take care of our physical health, we must also pay attention to our emotional and psychological health. The open mentality, the willingness to explore, and clear communication with our partner are essential to create a space in which both feel safe and comfortable. The practice of self-pity and self-acceptance allows us to be freer and more open in our privacy without the fear of being judged or not fulfilling the expectations of others. Life is full of moments of discovery and growth, and our sexuality is no exception. By age, we can find new ways to connect with ourselves and with our partners. Based on experience, empathy, and shared desire, each stage of life offers an opportunity to redefine what it means to be intimate, not only from the physical but also emotional and mental point of view. The ability to enjoy sexual life does not decrease with age. Rather, it is transformed, acquiring a depth and wealth that we had not experienced before. This understanding allows us to live with greater freedom, hugging pleasure without the restrictions of the myths and limiting beliefs that have prevailed for so long. Throughout the years, our relationship with pleasure, love, and intimacy evolves. But what remains constant is the importance of living our sexuality authentically. The true beauty of sexual life is not to follow pre-established molds, but in the ability to explore our own needs, desires, and limits, and share them with a couple that also value that authenticity. This deep and genuine connection is what allows us to experience a sexual life that is full, rich, and truly satisfactory. Give the video a like if you liked it and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more videos about this content. Leave a comment so we can know your opinion, and we will take it into account for future videos.